welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV screen to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. And here we all are, once again. Yes, we're back, and it's Monday. So, how was your weekend? Did you all have a great time? Are things going well for you? Let's hope so. Now, I know that it's Monday, and we're absolutely miles away from Friday, our favourite day of the week. The standard working week, that is, obviously. But, well, we're only a couple of days away from last Friday. But as we all know and remember, that's no good, is it? No. Even if we do ask Superman, Flash or Chief Mangosutto Buthelezi to help us, all that would happen is that we'd become trapped in a never-ending cycle of one single Friday, and that, even if it is a Friday, would become old and boring after a while. So, we know that that's not the way forward. We also know what the way forward is, don't we? Yes. The way forward is to concentrate on our English studies until, almost without noticing it, Friday appears on the horizon to lift our spirits and light our fires.
Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire.
Yes! Well, maybe no. Oh well, never mind. Let's just get on with things, shall we? All right, so what did we look at last? Who remembers? That's right. Last week, or the week before last week, we had another look at the language we use to talk about the future. And we also started looking at the past participle, the third form of some verbs which we know, love and use. And that's where we're going to start again today. Yes, it's time for us to have another look at verbs, the past simple forms of those verbs and the past participles, the third form for those verbs. So, if you're ready, let's dive in. So, same as last time, let's have a look at some of the verbs that we know and love and see if we can remember the past simple forms and the past participle of those verbs. For a start, let's have a look at the ones we saw last week. Come, came, come. Go, went, gone. Say, said, said. Ask, asked, asked. Eat, ate, eaten. Drink, drank, drunk. Love, loved, loved. Drive, drove, driven. Live, lived, lived. Do, did, done. Want, wanted, wanted. Call, called, called. Make, made, made. Confirm, confirmed, confirmed. Work, worked, worked. Okay, so those are the ones we saw last week, and we've seen these before, haven't we? I mean, yes, of course we've seen them before. We saw them last week or the week before that. But before that, we also saw these verbs before last week. The only thing that was new was the past participle, the third form. Okay, so we know those 15. Let's have a look at some more. How does another 15 sound to you? Yes! Let's have a look at the next 15. Make, take, tell, sell, live, like, think, believe, walk, run, play, watch, see, listen, hear. All right, okie dokie, righty dokie. So those are the next 15 verbs which we're going to focus on. So let's have a look at the easier part first. Let's see if we can remember the past simple forms. So, first things first. The verb to make. What's the past simple? Made. Good. Next, the verb to take. Regular or irregular? Irregular. Take becomes took. Next, tell. Tell becomes told. Another irregular verb. Next, number 4. Sell. This is the same group as tell. Tell becomes told. Sell becomes sold. Next, live. Live is regular. Hallelujah! Well, yes, indeed. Hallelujah. Finally, a regular verb. And what happens with regular verbs in the past simple? Yes, that's right. It's all about the ed ending, isn't it? Yes. And because the infinitive of the verb to live ends in an e, we remember that we don't have to add ed to the end of the infinitive to make the past simple form. No, because it ends in an e, we only have to add a d. Live becomes lived. Ba-doing! Great, but there's no time to stop. On we go to number 6. And guess what? Yes, that's right. The verb to like is also a regular verb. Hallelujah! Yes, indeed. So, just like the verb to live, the verb to like ends in an e, so we don't add ed to make the past simple form. We only have to add d. Like becomes liked. Bing! Next! All right, what's next? Oh, hang on. Let me think. That's right, it's the verb to think. And is it irregular or regular, regular or regular? Yes, it's irregular. Think becomes thought. Next, believe. Do you believe in Justin Bieber? I don't, but that's neither here nor there. So, believe, regular or irregular? Regular. So, it ends in an e, which means what? Yes, there's no need for ed. We only have to add d. Believe becomes believed. Next, walk. Easy, regular. Walk plus ed, walked. Next, run. Well, it's faster than the last one, and it's irregular. Run becomes ran. Next, play. Easy peasy, nosy, sneezy. Regular. Play plus ed, played. Play becomes played. Next, watch. Okay, simple. Watch is also regular. Add ed and watch, the infinitive, changes to watched, the past simple form. Next, see. Is it regular? Well, does it sound right? Seed? Nope. See is irregular. See becomes saw. See, saw. Next, listen. Are you listening? Good, because this is another easy one. Listen is regular. Add the ed ending and listen becomes listened. And the last one, well, it's the verb to hear. And what do you think? Is it regular or irregular? It's irregular. Hear becomes heard. All right. Excellent. Now, let's practice a few sentences with those verbs. Past simple forms, of course. George Best, doodaloo for Manchester United and Northern Ireland. I, doodaloo to Motorhead's Ace of Spades on the radio this morning. The tram was late today, so I, doodaloo to work. My wife runs every morning. Yesterday she doodaloo 7.9 kilometers. When we were little, our parents doodaloo us stories at bedtime. My friend Gabriel is a used car salesman. He has a sheepskin coat and he sells used cars. Last month, he doodaloo 43 used cars. When I was younger, I doodaloo in fairies. Now I know they exist. I usually see her every Friday, but last week I doodaloo her on Sunday. We live in Hungary. When I was younger, I doodaloo in the UK. They make tractors in the Great Lenin Tractor Factory. Last year was a great year. They doodaloo 4 tractors. Hooray for the Great Lenin Tractor Factory. She thinks that he's a nice man. I doodaloo that, but then I met him. Every morning I hear the blackbird which lives near my flat. Yesterday I doodaloo that stupid blackbird at 4:30 a.m. Normally, Edina takes her children to school. Last Thursday she was working, so Ferry doodaloo the kids to school. When I was a child, I doodaloo cartoons. Now I still like them. We watch serials on TV most evenings. Last night we doodaloo episode number 9 of a series which was filmed in Budapest. All right, well, they're simple enough, aren't they? Yes, of course they are. And remember, with the past simple, it doesn't matter. It's not important which subject we're using. With the past simple, there's only one form for all the subjects. So, the first person singular, the second person singular, the third person singular, and all of the plural subject forms. They all use the same form. Whee! All right. Well, all of those sentences were very easy, weren't they? Yes, of course they were. And yes, I did notice that I didn't give you the information about which verb to use in which sentence. Come on, you don't need them. Surely you can't be serious. So, before we start, just one thing. There are 4 verbs which are connected. Well, no, that's not 100% right. What I wanted to say was that there are 2 sets of 2 verbs which we need to have a look at. See, watch, hear, and listen. Now, these verbs are similar. See and watch are things we do with our eyes, and listen and hear are things we do with our ears. So, what's the difference between see and watch and hear and listen? Well, the difference between these 2 sets of verbs basically relates to how much we're concentrating on something. At the most basic level, see and hear mean that we're not paying too much attention. Watch and listen to, and yes, we need a preposition to say what we're listening to. These suggest that we're concentrating on looking at something, or we're concentrating on listening to something. We're trying to concentrate all of our brains on the thing that we're watching. It might be a film or a tennis match, and we don't want to be distracted. We want to focus all our attention on the thing in front of us. And the same is true of listen to. Maybe you're at a concert, maybe you're listening to a new piece of music you just downloaded, and again, you don't want to be distracted. You want to focus all of your ear power on the thing that you're listening to. Now, think about the difference between those 2 ideas and the idea of see and hear. Yes, we use the same sensory organs, our eyes and our ears, but the way we use these organs is different. It's less intense than when we're watching something or listening to something. Have a look at these sentences and see if you can decide which verb would be best for the situation in the sentence. Don't turn the radio off. I doodle-loo that program. What was that noise? I don't know. I doodle-loo anything. Negative. Did you doodle-loo the Scotland-Hungary friendly international football match? No, I was at the cinema. Doodle-loo Moon Battles, the new film directed by George Lucas's brother, Eugene. She doodle-loo negative. She doodle-loo to her MP3 player. All right, so that was, well, those were pretty simple, weren't they? Well, let's check them together and find out, okay? All right, well, the first one is obviously something connected to hearing, isn't it? Yes, we're talking about a radio, so, well, normal people don't watch radio. They don't use their eyes but their ears. So, what do you think? Which verb fits the sentence best? Hear or listen to? Yes, it's listen to, isn't it? The person who's talking is pointing out that they're actively concentrating to the sound which is coming out of the radio. This isn't just the radio making background noise, no. This is someone actively concentrating on the radio program. Okay, but which tense are we going to use? Well, look at the question. What do you think? Yes, the person is talking about an action they're doing now. It's the present continuous, isn't it? Yes! Don't turn the radio off. I'm listening to that program. All right, next. Now, this one's also about ears, isn't it? Yes, someone asked, what was that noise? Which means that they heard or thought that they heard something. They didn't see something, they heard something. So it's ears, not eyes. All right. And which verb are we going to use? Yes. Although it's possible to use listen to and say that I wasn't listening to anything, it's not very logical for this situation. So, yes, just like the question, we should use hear. What was that noise? I don't know. I didn't hear anything. All right. Oh, hang on. Oh, Gangnam Style. We're out of time. Oh, well, never mind. If the world is your ostrich, then there's probably no time to dry milk with eyelashes, as Johnny Halliday used to sing. Before he stopped singing and died, that is. All right, so you all know the drill. Finish your chores and then have a coffee or something else. Get some rest, have something to eat, relax in front of the TV, watch a film or listen to the radio. And after all that, if you've got some spare time and some spare energy, then check out the vocab on the website and then go to bed. I'll see you all tomorrow, fresh and ready to get stuck into some more English. See you tomorrow. See you later. Bye.